Look, before we get into the content, it's really important that you guys hit that subscribe button. We're out here every single day working for y'all, trying to hit y'all with the best content. And what motivates us to keep going is people like you. So hit the subscribe button, join the conversation, join the Deuce Gang.
What he said.
It's sad how y'all trying to force this gay stuff on the world, bro. It's sad, bro. How y'all trying to ban artists. Y'all sad, bro. It's sad, bro. You know, in 10 years, it ain't gonna be normal for a kid to be straight. You know, it's sad, bro.
I'm sorry, what was that?
It ain't gonna be normal for a kid to be straight.
I need to hear the whole sentence. I'm sorry. That can't be what he said.
Y'all sad, bro. It's sad, bro. You know, in 10 years, it ain't gonna be normal for a kid to be straight.
So he did say that.
You know, it's sad, bro. Y'all trying to force it on these kids, bro. You know, you pushing it on the artists. Push it on all the biggest artists. You know why? Because the kids love those artists. You're attacking these kids. The kids love these artists. So we're going to make all them promote this shit. We're going to make all them promote it. And who going to follow? The kids. It's sad, bro. It's sad.
It's sad. Called it.
You know,
This is more it's sad. No, that's it.
Maybe there's another. It's probably.
God doing backflips and his backflips right now.
He said God is doing backflips.
Yeah, we could have stopped it at the first.
No, I think the last one was. I think the last one was important because
God doing backflips.
His last statement where he's saying God is doing backflips. Essentially, he's saying, you know, God is against homosexuality, which is a totally separate conversation. So in 10 years, it's not going to be normal for kids to be straight. That's what Boosie said.
Like I said, man, I hope you do a connection to the last video where we spoke on Boosie and his outrageous comments. And then I made some statements where I said, listen, it's not what he's saying, it's how he's saying it that I feel like doesn't make the message come across. But the message he's passing along is not 100% incorrect. Now, listen, this is going to be a little bit more difficult for me to decipher because some of the things he said were just blatantly outrageous, right? Now, when he says that 10 years from now, it's not going to be normal to be straight, I can see that happening. You know why? Because at this point, anybody could attack somebody who's straight and it's seen as a normal thing. Nobody's sensitive towards that. But if you attack the other side, you know, somebody else in the community, it doesn't matter what happens, then boom, you get knocked on your ass. It's cancel culture. We don't want to hear from you. All of this. There's no appreciation for the other side. Like, if you're heterosexual, we are allowed to have opinions too, and there's things that offend us and that we don't want to see. You understand what it is? Now, do I feel like because these things are on TV, two guys kissing, women kissing, all that stuff, that all of a sudden we're going to create a generation of gay people? No. You know why? That's not how this thing works. Okay? So if you're ignorant, that's how you believe it works. That if I see it enough, all of a sudden I'm just going to be, me personally, I'm just going to be magically attracted to men because that's all I'm seeing on TV. I'm telling you, that's not going to happen. So that part of his statement is kind of outrageous and stupid. But when it comes to our culture and the people who can still be attacked without there being any consequences and who can't be attacked, you know, with the consequences that are more severe, then I kind of agree with what he's saying on that aspect of it.
Do you think there should be a White History Month?
No, I don't think that. I every other month. Man. Is there a Black History Month? Stop. We can. This is another discussion.
So you know why I asked that question?
Why?
Because when I hear Boosie speak and when I hear you say things like that,
yeah,
who's gonna stand up for the straight side, the hetero side? Who's gonna fight for us? The same reason why that's the most bullshit thing is the same reason why there isn't a fucking White History Month. Because white people, depending on your viewpoint, pretty much run shit. Okay? We don't need to celebrate your fucking history because you guys run shit. So to the point where I'm talking about heterosexual, we dominate the fucking the planet, the population. It's the most of us is hetero. The fuck do we need to stand up for each other for? We run shit. We didn't get fucking beaten up because we were different. We didn't get made fun of because none of that. Because we're getting picked on for our 1-2 comments here because we want to stand up for our beliefs. We should no. This is ridiculous. This is stupid. 10 years, you think people are listen, I understand what you're saying. And I understand what Boosie's saying. Because at the end of the day, if there's a way where I can maneuver through corporate America, through the entertainment industry, hell, through sports, and all I got to do is pretend to be gay, let's not act like it hasn't happened. Then people are going to do that because to what Boosie's saying and what you might be alluding to, yes, it might be easier. You might get a 1-2 handouts or a door open or something because you identify as such. But there's never going to be a world ever where heterosexuality is looked at or frowned upon. It's just not going to happen. I mean, and I guess
it's not that. It's not. It's not. See, I don't think there's going to be a time where heterosexuality is frowned upon as well. What I'm saying is our opinions, the way we feel when we say something that something offends us, those opinions are looked at if they are against that community, they're looked at as insulting. Like we're not allowed to have those opinions at all. You're not allowed to say those things at all in the world.
Great.
Right.
So then don't say anything.
Okay, that's fine. You're allowed to believe what you want to believe. Where and when you say it, it's totally up to you. I will give you that. There's a right and a wrong time to say certain things, right? But if you look at it from the opposite side, I have personally heard of some heinous things that have been said towards people in response to comments that they made towards the LGBT community. And sometimes it's not meant to be offensive. It's just an opinion that somebody has about it. If I say that I think it's nasty for a guy to F another guy in the B, I'm allowed to feel like that. I think it's disgusting. I think it's nasty. Okay? But for somebody in that community, that's how they sexually display themselves. That's how they might do it. So I could say that to somebody, they could take offense to it. Look at me, and all of a sudden, I'm the bigot. I'm the evil guy. I'm crazy. What are you doing? Oh, you're homophobic.
So what if? So what
I'm
if?
not homophobic. I just don't like it.
So what if? So what if Karen goes to you, my guy, and is like, man, your wife is beautiful. I can't wait till you have a baby because little black babies are so adorable when they're young, but when they grow up, though, oh, I don't know what happens.
Well, listen, that's an opinion that she
has.
Is
that okay?
Am I going to agree with
is she allowed? But is she allowed to say that in a public forum? Is she allowed to? All the Karen videos we've seen where they're like erasing stuff. Like LGBTQ, BLM, they're just erasing it. It's just display. Are they? Because it's their opinion. Are they just allowed to do that?
Well, Karen's opinion that she's giving is completely based on the color of somebody's skin.
And the opinion you're giving is completely based on someone's sexual preference.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Because you just said effing somebody in the B is nasty.
A guy can F a girl in the B too. A guy can F a girl in the B too. That could happen too.
No. You said effing a guy effing a guy in the B is nasty. That is a sexual preference.
That act in general of just effing in the B to me is nasty.
No, I said a guy effing another. Those were your words.
So listen to what I'm saying. If effing somebody in the B is already nasty to me, I'm not gay. So imagine now adding two guys to that equation. That's not something that sexually turns me on. It's not something I find arousing. So if I find something nasty and then now we're adding something else onto it that I am not here for, it's going to be double nasty to me. But I'm not allowed to say that, right? I'm not allowed to say that because if I say that, then I'm instantly deemed homophobic, and that's not what I'm getting across. I'm not trying to get across that I hate gay people.
I know, but have you ever heard, I'm sure you have, because your parents, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Have you ever heard of that? Just because you think, but just because you think anal sex, we could just say that.
I'm just trying, please do not do this where you take the one sentence that I say and just use it because it's just a sentence that I came up with. I'm just trying to illustrate the fact that there's things that I might find offensive and I'm not allowed to say them because I will instantly be deemed homophobic if I do say them, and that isn't necessarily the case. If Karen comes up to you and she says something about black babies being ugly when they grow up, that's blatantly racist. Because you said black babies. Why can't all babies be nasty when they grow up? You specifically said black babies.
I know, but you also specifically said a guy having anal sex with another guy. That is kind of a specific.
You're once again sticking to my stances. So if I find anal sex to be nasty, right? If I find that to be nasty, just in general, doesn't matter who's doing it, and then you add on something else onto it, it's going to compound it. Yes. It's the both the things combined together that are nasty to me. That is something that people do, but that's somebody's sexual way of life. I find it nasty. I do.
So, and that's fine. But what I'm saying is, notice how I said that's fine. Notice how I said that. So what I'm saying to you and anybody else,
say that to anybody though.
Thank
but
you.
I mean, like,
but
I'm not gonna walk up to somebody just randomly for no reason, and they're gay and be like, "Yo, you're nasty because you have sex in the B."
Yeah,
I'm
but
not gonna say
I know, but that is the point. So Karen, who feels how she feels about black babies and then how they look when they grow up, she should not say that to another black person. She should not say that to anyone. In fact, if she does want to express that, because everybody should be able to say how they feel, say it in the confidence in your own home, or say it to somebody that might be able to have, give you an educated conversation to perhaps change how you think, or at least enlighten you. And the same way I would say that to a homosexual couple, man, woman, whatever you want to identify as. If you want to celebrate your sexuality, cool, but read the room. Just like we expect Karen to read the room, you should also read the room. You don't know if people are comfortable with that. You don't. And at the end of the day, even if you throw it up in people's face, that doesn't give me, Boosie, the baby, you, anyone the right to shut it down and insult you and say derogatory things towards you. It doesn't. Just like if I show up with my wife and my daughter, it doesn't give Karen the right to say something negative towards me, Karen, and my child. It doesn't give her the right to do that. So if you have your opinions, keep them to yourself. You have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all, unless you are trying to have a constructive conversation. That's all. What happened to that?
And that's what I'm trying to illustrate. Like, you need to stop sticking to the one sentence that I said, because it's what I'm trying to show you is that's just an example of something. That's not the only sentence. I could think of a sentence right now that's not as offensive in your mind, that has nothing to do with this Karen example that you're bringing up, because that Karen example, I'm telling you, is blatantly racist. That's blatantly directed towards something. Once again, I'll explain it. I'm telling you about a situation where there's an act that is nasty to me. And if I said something about that act in general, I would be deemed homophobic, even though it's not directed towards because it's associated with that, though, simply by the association. I'm not directing any hate. And what I'm saying is obviously not going to come up in a random conversation, but there is a conversation where that could come up. 100%. If I'm drunk, I'm chilling with a bunch of friends. I have friends who are gay. I could have that conversation around them. You know what I mean?
Reading the room. I
could definitely have that conversation around them, because that's different. They know me. They know I'm not coming from a place where I'm trying
of hate.
Offend. Exactly.
That's
the different. But you understand, there's some people I could have that conversation with my friend over here who's gay and they're not offended. But then I could go somewhere else that another person doesn't know me as well. I say that, they instantly call me homophobic, and now I'm canceled, especially if I'm a celebrity or something.
Okay, but
even
because
you don't know who I am. You didn't take the time to know who I am and where I'm coming from with these things.
But that's why these celebrities, when you say they're so easy to be canceled, that's why a Boosie, a baby, when you say you can have these constructive conversations among your friends, some of them gay, that's great, because they know you and they know your sensitivity and they know where you're coming from. But when you look at a celebrity who has a platform of millions and millions of people, these niggas don't know them. So of course, when you say something, they take it literally, or even worse, they get to misconstrue what you're saying and create their own narrative and run with it. So
you know what's funny? Yeah, that's good. You know what's good about this one, though, is because I kind of gave a statement and then you kind of responded as if somebody who, was like a fan or something and heard somebody make that statement. So that your reaction was kind of the reaction that you're explaining right now, as if somebody did it. Because I'm not coming from a place of where I'm trying to offend somebody.
Obviously.
You know me, right? But your reaction is based on how other people would feel who don't know me
Hold
based
on,
on what I'm
hold,
saying. So
hold
that's a
on,
different
hold
perspective.
on, hold on. And I hope you guys caught that. I don't know which way to point, not homophobic.
I learned. For me, it's this way. For me, it's this
Okay,
way.
all
I'm
right.
pointing
Then
at
mine's
you right
just,
now.
all right. Yeah, not homophobic, not homophobic. I'm trying to illustrate, and I'm really trying to put like a huge. I'm trying to like make the font huge, put exclamation marks behind the point that when you say something, if you don't know the person who's receiving what you're saying, it could be taken the wrong way.
Right.
It's happened to me 100 times on this podcast. Right. So
it's just a higher level of sensitivity with certain people than others. That's all I'm saying. It's a higher level of sensitivity in general, with culture in general, if you attack certain groups over others. And you know what? Black people are now included in that group too. Like, you can't really go out here and be wilding out.
No.
They got the video cameras for you,
Yes.
and you'll be you will lose your job. It's happened to multiple people caught on tape. So, you know, we are included in that group too. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't mean that, listen, no matter what you want to say about anybody and what they feel and how they feel, just like you are entitled to your opinion, I will never change this. Just like how you are entitled to your opinion, they are entitled to their opinion. Whether or not I agree is a totally different conversation. My reaction is the most important thing. If somebody says something to me and I find it offensive, I'm not at the sensitive level where I'm instantly going to attack them and claim that they don't know and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? That's the problem. There's nobody trying to do that nowadays. And all we're doing is pushing a narrative. Just narratives are being pushed in our face. Just accept this. You don't have a choice. Accept this. We're going to push it in your face. And is it bad? Is it bad? No, because that's what society is about. It's about accepting diversity and differences among people. But with that, you have to understand, and this is going to sound as the worst example as ever, but you have to understand that there's going to be people that don't want to see that. There's going to be people that don't want to see that. And the fact that those people aren't allowed to have their opinions about it too, I think is not cool. Because if I gotta accept what you're showing me, you got to accept how I react to it, right?
The reality is this, and we could wrap here because we could make this the whole podcast, but we could
this
wrap.
This could be the whole show at this point, for real.
The reality is when we're talking about race, sexuality, whatever it is, where there's a divide, the side that's exhibiting, that's showing pride, the race pride, the sex pride, whatever, this side always feels like you're doing it overtly, like it's too much. And then when this side responds, this side is like, even if they're trying to have constructive criticism, this side is saying, oh, why you got to be so rude? And
so
exactly. What I'm saying is there's never a happy medium ever.
No,
there's never a happy
difficult
medium
part
ever.
That's
the problem. And that's the problem. People, at the end of the day, humans, we can have a conversation, but you put it online, it's going to be some drama. You in public, what are your thoughts here, man? Like, really and truly, we've talked about this many times, and I feel like we will continue to talk about this because it's important. This is your neighbor. This is your coworker. This is your cousin, your uncle. You know what I mean? They're in our lives, man. Have the conversation, educate yourself, leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Join the Deuce Gang. Deuces.
Yo, thanks for watching that video, making it all the way to the end. You made it this far, you have to like. Please subscribe and comment on the video as well. Join the conversation.
Absolutely. We finally hit our goal of 500 subscribers. Yes, we are trying to get to 1,000. And we can only do that with your help. You can start by watching that next video. You see that tiny little icon? Click on that icon, rinse and repeat. Deuces.